Hey guys, it's Jenny Wolek with the Wolek Group, Keller Williams Realty Advantage in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I am super excited to introduce my friend Dan Holt with the Dan Holt Team in Springfield, Missouri, to share all of his agent success secrets. Dan,
Yes.
welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Dan, we've been friends for a long time.
Yep, we have.
And you're quite the jokester, and I made you promise not to make me laugh really hard on this.
Okay, no smiles.
It's really not gonna, you're still gonna make me laugh. So the thing about you and your team, you're not far here from us in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Springfield,
Right.
Missouri. And you have put up some amazing numbers as a team over the
Yeah,
past years.
yeah, they have.
Yeah.
I say they because it's not a me thing, but they really have.
Yeah. So let's just tell everyone your background, how you got into real estate, how you have grown your team through
Mm-hmm.
leverage over the
Yep.
years, how many homes you guys sold this last year and what your goal is for this year. And then I'll ask you lots of other questions after that.
Okay,
Go.
fair enough. So I got into real estate not by design, but kind of by default when the economy crashed back in 2008 and 9. I got my license in 2008. I'd come from a background in building and kind of just got into real estate to not have to pay a realtor to sell my houses. That kind of morphed into going to mega agent camp, and I think that was the fall of 2009. So at that point in time, I'd almost been licensed the full 2 years. I think you and I met the following family reunion in Orlando. That would have
Yeah.
been February 2010. And it's just been a continual growth since then. Like I said, I was still building at the same time, and realizing that I was really doing neither of them very well. So I dropped that, focused on this, and I just like the risk reward paradigm a lot better in this business than I did the building, specifically in that time frame.
Right. So back then you were a single agent, and
Yeah,
then I I don't know. I won't make any assumptions. How are you with details and paperwork?
atrocious.
Just guessing.
Yeah, well, I think you know me pretty well. So yeah, terrible. To the point, in all fairness, that it frustrates the fire out of my team. Like it's really hard for them. Jen in particular, being super detailed, and has a very high level of follow through. It can be a little bit of a stress factor sometimes with her when I don't follow through or I don't have the time frame restrictions that she has or understand hers as well as she
Yeah.
does. So yeah, no, I
Okay.
know more details.
Yeah. So you probably learned early on in your real estate career that you could go really fast. You just needed a team to help pick up your mess.
Yeah, absolutely. So I knew one of the things I learned really fast is I didn't want to spend any time focusing on my deficiencies or my negatives. I wanted to hire to them. So tried to hire. I didn't even follow the recruit select process. It was called at that point in time. I didn't follow that at all, and kind of lucked into some really phenomenal talent. And then as I grew personally and started having more leverage, I started reading. This book called Millionaire Real Estate Agent, and it kind of
Oh,
has this. You ever heard of it? And it has this roadmap in it as far as when to hire, who to hire, how to hire, and then started really becoming focused and intentional on surrounding myself around the education and the classes and the conversations that I need to have about growing and more specifically who to grow with.
right. And I would not discount anyone on your team because everyone that you have in your world is amazing. However, Jen Davis has just talked with me this week. And so she's had some kind of some fame lately on the
Yeah.
big stage. And how does that make you feel?
Me, as
Yeah.
proud as can be. I couldn't be happier. And I've said this to her over and over again. I've never said it to anybody else, but what she is doing within role is really more impressive than what I'm doing within role. And what I mean by that is there's obviously plenty of rainmakers and mega agents who have built teams that are doing more units than us yearly. And yet there's no lead buyer specialist that's done half of what she's done. And she continues to grow. And so she's setting the 4-minute mile pace. Couldn't be more proud of her. I do anything I can to promote her, to provide opportunity for her, to gain her exposure through some of my stuff, because I think sometimes I know myself and Rainmakers a lot have plenty of opportunity to we all have egos, right? And so, but to take an opportunity and be able to help somebody else have it, man, what, right?
Yes.
That's my mission.
I love that. And she's blessed to have you as a leader as well, because you allow her and have provided the leverage. So let's back up. So we talked about this before we hopped on here, is you are a listing machine.
Maybe, yeah. I certainly used to be a lot more than I am now, but that's how we got where we were. And
right.
Do you need to keep talking, or do you need me to let you ask questions? Because I can.
You keep talking on the listing leverage. We know that there's leads, listings, and leverage. Yeah.
So this is specifically what happened. Obviously, going back to what I said before, that I was really intentional on the book and et cetera, in classes. And of course, the one thing came out about that time, Jen and I and Emily, our lead generation director, went to Mega Agent, and I just sat there and I had this epiphany while hearing someone else talk, which happens every time I go to one of these events, which is why I continue to go. I always come back and it morphs our business somehow for the better. And I was sitting there, and at that point in time, they had kind of just unrolled the 2-10-40 model for the team leaders.
Right.
And what that means is 2 appointments a day, 10 a week, 40 a month. Right? And it's very practical and tangible. So I sat and looked at them that night at dinner, and I was like, there's our new plan. And it was a playbook to 500 transactions. Actually, let me back up. I think that year was a playbook to 350 transactions. So I stand corrected. Okay. If I could focus on the 2-10-40 on 2 listing appointments a day, 10 a week and 40 a month, then I knew through that, based on a pretty high conversion ratio and pretty high contract to close ratio, that the 1-for-1 ratio with the buyers was going to equal those transactions. I'm sorry, I believe that would have been the 300. I'll do the math for you. I'm butchering this because it's been a couple of years, but that's how it equated. So, but I knew that in order to do that for the first time ever, and this was hard to do, keep in mind, this was a fall because this was Mega Agent Camp. So we were setting our goals for the following year. I sat down and I said, in order to do this, and this one I had the conversation with him, I said, I have to get, because at that point in time, I was still dabbling in buyers here and there. Now, it wasn't clearly the focus of my business, and Jen was dabbling some sellers here and there. And yet that's when specialization became very clear to us that I had to stay in my lane, and my 20% was setting and going on listing appointments. I mean, we have a super strong lead generation system, and you guys know that. Emily runs that. But it was a very clear, specific, or a very clear focus on my part on listing appointments. That was it. And I didn't want a buyer. And in all fairness, I bet I haven't touched 3 buyers since then. And I liked buyers. Buyers, I don't dislike them. I get energy from it. And yet it's not my one thing anymore. And that has allowed that was probably our biggest, most focused growth on the team, as far as what we're doing and where we're going and how we're going to get there, was my focus on my one thing, which then allowed there to be a big void in the business that Jen immediately stepped up and filled. Mm-hmm. So it was literally a win-win. So she knew, number one, there's also, in teams, a lot of time there's is it mine or is it yours, or is it yours or mine, or who is it? Or I talk to them we don't have that, because I don't touch the buy side, and she really doesn't touch the list side. She does fall into some listings here and there, and she's obviously capable and competent and all that. And sometimes it's hard to pass, and we can't pass everybody, and yet we don't want to miss that. So, but 98% of our business is in our lane.
All right. So what year was it that you implemented the 2-10-40 as a team? Do you remember what year that was?
Yeah. I believe that was 2015.
Okay. And then did you get to that 350 goal that year?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Sorry. We always hit goal. That's a Diana Kokoska term. We always hit goal. It's just a matter of, are you willing to do what it takes to hit goal?
Right. Okay. So how many families did you get to help last year?
440. Last year was 442.
Yes. And I know your goal for this year is 500.
Yep. So this is the first year that we've not hugely increased what our goal is. And yet we've had 20% growth. We've consistently, since I started the team, had It's easy to have 20% growth when you only do like, I don't know. I'm looking at my numbers here, by the way.
Okay.
When you do 164, you can have 50% growth really easy, right? But it starts getting really hard when you start pushing, in my opinion, pushing that 500 mark to have 20% growth consistently year over year. Those start becoming really big numbers.
Right.
So we did slow down on goal, and yet our trajectory right now is that we'll do probably about 550 to 560.
That's a nice little accident.
Whoops, fell into that one, huh?
All right, so let's go back just one little step here. So you focused on listings, you stayed in your lane, you had the beauty of the lever of leverage, and that is what helped fund the buy side.
Yep.
With a competent, specialized buyer agent, she's able to do what you're doing.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah.
That's the difference, and you just hit it. And this has been my focus the whole time. I don't have competent people. I have overly talented people whose focus, it's not their focus. My focus has been to create a path for them and create opportunity for them. People misunderstand the word also opportunity with money. Doesn't mean they get paid very well for what they do, obviously. But I've created the opportunity for them, and they step. So it is. You can't get there hiring average people in my model, because my model is very few people do very many transactions. I don't know if Jen said this on our last call. Our agents average 100 transactions per person per year. Right. That's the caliber of people we're looking for, and people kind of gasp at that number sometimes. You and I have talked about this, and yet we. By the way, with the exception of Jen, all 15 of the people on my team have been hired outside the industry, and I brought them in. They don't know what they don't know. We tend to put ourselves in our own box of what is and what's not possible, or how many units you can do. I hear a lot of times that a good buyer's agent can do X amount. A good buyer's can do, and you go, who said that? Who said that? Who put that lid on them to say that's what a good can do? And if you don't do that, you're not good. And and so all of a sudden I'm okay at 50 because the company said that's good. No, we say 365 is good. That's exceptional. And people are probably like, you say 365 is good. We're going to do that. That's one of Jen's goal, and we're going to hit 365 for her.
Yeah.
That's important to her. So we're all behind it.
One a day.
One a day.
Just one a day.
Not a lot if you say it fast.
Well, okay, so all that we keep hitting on here is leverage and opportunity, leverage and opportunity. You took all those listings that provided leverage and
272 that year, to be specific.
What's that?
272 to be specific.
Whatever. And then, and at the same time, you had to have a super overly competent listing or transaction team, administrative team, operations team.
Yeah.
You said you have over 100 listings right now.
Yeah, we run an average of 100 listings at all times. We're a little down on that this year because it's so hard to find them.
Okay.
But
you say so. And
I'm sorry. Good one. Thank you.
Well, I'm just saying that every piece of this has listings, leverage, and leads inside of it. So let's just, I don't know, I guess, where is it? You're just not stopping. Like, you are pitching such an amazing vision, which are actually Jen's comments the other day.
Oh, so sweet.
That you pitch a vision that she sees herself inside of your world. So what exactly is your vision that you share with all these people to get the quality over quantity of team members? Okay.
Jen will tell you, and I'm going to go back and be a little vulnerable for a second. Through some maturity in business, since I'm all of 8 years in it now and clearly know, when I first pitched her the vision, keep in mind, this was 5.5 years ago, I was scared to death that I couldn't deliver it. So I was so intentionally focused on making that happen for her. And then she had never done over 16 deals. I don't know if she told you this, never done over 16 deals a year in her life. And she came to Keller Williams and she did 49 or 50. I think the goal was 50. I think she did 49 that year. Okay. All right. So she missed it by one. And had we known that, I'd have bought a house for her. Like, I was that committed to her hitting goal. And so we consistently did that and just focus on the numbers. And I forget your question.
Oh.
Story.
Oh,
Oh,
quality.
their vision in that world. Yeah.
The vision.
So I'm not. It's been very hard for me. I'm not gonna lie. And I heard Gary talking probably 2 or 3 years ago, and this really helped me. And he gave the analogy of your world being a bubble, basically. And I'm sure you've heard this. And the people within you being bubbles within yours. And if you don't make your bubble enough, they're going to go find somewhere else. Meaning, if I don't create a big enough world or opportunity for them,
Yeah.
they're going to find opportunity somewhere else. They're clearly very talented people. I have somehow attracted very highly talented people. And that's not a, I didn't, I mean, I guess I did that, but it's not through my work. I also knew that I couldn't go where I wanted to go by myself. And I couldn't with average people either, right? So they just continually pushed me, uncomfortably so, I'm not going to lie. There have been times I've been like super uncomfortable, and maybe I wasn't in the right space, or I didn't want to grow to the right, and they never threatened like do this or leave. It was just like, come on, step up. Like, we need you to do this. I mean, kindly so, but hard pill to swallow. They are trying to literally push me out of the team. Like, it still has my name on it. No, I'm just kidding. And in one sense, it's a compliment, because look at the leaders that have developed around me. And yet, so what I've had to do, I'm working, we talked about this, I'm working towards hopefully earning the OP opportunity in Springfield. And it's really the same conversations I've been having with my team for 5 years. And it's the growth initiative. It's the career growth initiative. It's the same conversation I've been having with my team behind our office walls for 3 years. And it's really just focused to the attention of, this is what we're doing. So now that is making my world bigger. And I know that if I knock that opportunity out of the park, not only does my life get better, but the lives of those around me get better. Then I get more opportunity, which means our whole world continues to just get bigger. And it's not about having more. And it's, I'm not going to say it's not about money, because we're all in business to make a profit. And yet we have an opportunity to change people's lives. And that's been our whole team mission the whole time. And you know that because you've talked to us. So
what are your morning affirmations? What do you tell yourself every morning when you wake up?
This is terrible. I believe I can do it every morning. Like there are certain core traits I have, or ways that I think. Number one, if you think you can or can't, you're right. So I would be lying if I said there aren't times that you get down on yourself and seriously question, like, am I the right person? Or why am I doing this or that? But I would say that 29 out of the 30 days a month, I wake up and I think, how big can I make my world? What can I do? Who can I help? What do I need to do? But I do have affirmations when I drive up to a house and it's a listing appointment and I walk up, and it's really silly, but I don't really have, like, I wake up ready to take on stuff. Does it make sense? Like, I don't have negative self-talk.
Right. No, first off, you have to share the affirmation at the listing. Go ahead.
It's really easy. I mean, I think it's a Diana line. It's either Diana line. It's this listing's mine if I want to. If I want this listing, it's mine. I'm sorry, I butchered that, but yes, this listing is mine if I want it. And I walk up to the sidewalk, and as I'm walking up to the sidewalk, I do the math really quick. Because I know approximately what it's going to list for. And I also know that I'm going to pull a buyer off that. So I know what 6% of that house is. I know what 3% is off the buyer I'm going to pull. And I'm probably going to sell them a house. So I'm doing math really fast. I'm like, this is a $20,000 door knock. How important is that? If you knew there's $20,000 on the other side of that door. So I do the math on the sidewalk, every house. I
love the math on the sidewalk. I love that.
Who do you show up as when, right?
Yeah.
What would you say, or how serious would you take it if there literally was, if the people standing behind there had a briefcase and it had that much cash in it? Would you say what you needed to say to earn that cash? And all they had to say is yes or no. The answer they leave is, are they giving you the cash or are they not?
Yeah, and then to take it another step further is, what are you going to do with that cash when you have it, and attaching your passion and your big why behind
that. And whose life can I change with that?
Whose life can I change with that? I love that. So what's up next for Dan?
So excited to tell you about this. Two things. So I told you, I'm working diligently towards the OP opportunity, and I'm really making that the focus of what I'm doing. And being on our regional calls, I have the best opportunity in the world to get to listen to John Davis and Mark King and Lucas Sheridan and a lot of my other really good friends, David Barroso. And these guys are knocking it out at a very high level. I mean, I'm not having average conversations on these calls. And I listen, I'm a sponge, and I'm hearing every bit of it. And John Davis gets to lead most of them, and all the rest of our regional leadership is on the call as well. So I'm trying to earn that role. It has made me a complete
Wait, did you just say try? Did you say try?
I didn't try to say that. I'm sorry.
May the fourth be with you. What does Yoda say?
May the fourth be with me. That's awesome.
There is no try, Dan.
There is no try. So I'm going to earn this opportunity. And I just started because of my coach and because of all the stuff that I've seen from our leadership. I have just started, I and our team, Jen is actually the president, she probably didn't tell you that, our own 501(c)(3).
Awesome. What's the name of it?
It's called Holt Homes of Hope.
Homes of Hope.
Holt Homes of Hope. And it's 100% pass through, and our goal is to raise the funds or the labor or the effort to build one house and give one house away every year.
Build one and give one?
No, same. Same house.
I know. I was like, wait. So build it and build and give.
Build and give away a home a year in Springfield specifically. We're going to try to do that for 10 years. And kind of our focus on this isn't towards to assist any segment of people other than just people who, through no poor choices of their own, are just behind the eight ball and are never going to get out of this without a hand up. And so we look to have the opportunity to bless families with a house. No strings attached. I have no pre-requirements. We'll vet them, obviously. We're going to give them great people. And I put no deed restrictions on it. They can keep it. They can sell. That's their choice, whatever it is. My task is to give. What they do with it is not my judgment. And I get that some people say you're taking advantage of. My task was to give, right? Yeah. So our team's behind this 100%. Jen's the president. I'm super proud of her for stepping up and doing that. And yeah, how cool would that be? How cool would that be just to hand over a set of keys to somebody and go, there's your house, right?
Yeah, so how are you going to fund this mostly?
Well, it is strategic giving. We have obviously a very large database. We have community events we're going to put together that surround this. Our first one is a Halloween party this year, and it's a costume contest, and we'll raise funds doing that. We're going to drive some corporate sponsorships through people that banks. I mean, it's all affiliated business partners we're already with, lumber yards through our builders. It is honestly a good business opportunity for them. Also, I was talking to a lumber yard the other day, and they have extra materials and et cetera that have been special ordered or misordered that they can't return. Well, they can't sell it for 25 cents on the dollar, but they can retain whole retail value by donating it. So it's just a trickle down.
And what a win. I mean, besides us, the fact that we sell homes, you also started with building homes.
That's right. So it's really easy for me to kind of project manage this. And
you know the language already.
I know the language. Yeah.
That's awesome.
People's lives, right? So I think our mission was, and I've said it all the time, and I know that you didn't ask me this, but this is my show, okay? If what's the legacy I'm going to leave, and whose life am I going to impact? And if I truly can change enough other people's lives, it'll always change mine. And that doesn't always mean money. If I'm just set, I'm on a mission to change as many people's lives as I can, specifically the ones immediately close to me.
Well, I know that's true. I've seen you with your team. I've been in your space, and I feel your energy, and I love that you're passionate about what you do. And what's more important is that you're such a big thinker, and you help inspire others as well.
Thank you. That was very kind.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, how can people send you referrals? And where is Springfield, Missouri?
Springfield, Missouri is the southwest corner of Missouri. It is a thriving metropolis of approximately 150,000 people. clearly, I would go onto the referral network through Keller Williams.
Yes.
You can find us there, super easy. And send us any referrals you want to there. I mean, I think we've already sent out 5 or 6 since we logged on the system and received, including one from you. And apparently nobody wants to move to Tulsa from Springfield. I don't understand why they would. But super easy. I'm just kidding, right?
Hello.
No, we're able to. This is one of the most genius referral network systems I've seen.
Yeah,
that's out there. I mean, I can, before the process was call a team leader, call somebody, put a Facebook message, whatever, yeah. and now it's just who do I want to send it to? There they are. Bam, it's done. It's already agreed. If they accept it, it's agreed. It's very highly leveraged, and it's so simple. And why people aren't using it all the time, I don't understand.
Yeah, I think we'll get there. We got to keep going.
Be an early adapter, says Mark King.
Yes. Well, you are so amazing to share your very, very valuable time. I know you're a busy man, and I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you at the next event.
Fantastic.
Awesome. If you guys need anything from me, my number is 918-706-94.